Hi guys, so my name is Prateek Modi and I really wanted to put together a video in which I wanted to take you guys through 5 ways to market your business during Covid-19. It's a very strange time to be in, where businesses are completely shut, showrooms are closed, factories are closed, people aren't going to be eating out anytime soon, there's going to be no travel, no spend on luxury, and the entire way, the fundamental way in which businesses run is going to be changed forever. What are these 5 ways? So after a lot of brainstorming, discussions with our clients, and even spending on various marketing campaigns, because I run a digital agency, and we have this unique vantage point where we get to see how multiple businesses have been affected, and use that knowledge and learning to really help our clients. So I thought this knowledge might be of help to you as well, the persevering business owner. Let's start with how you can market your business post COVID-19. This free training for business owners should probably help you gain some perspective. Before I go into the training, a small introduction. We are a 4-year-old digital marketing agency based in India, and we have worked with over 100 plus clients across multiple industries. We've worked with large businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs, consultants, brands, you name it, and we've probably done some job for them. And in the last 2 years alone, we have spent over 2 crores in online ads, converting clicks into leads and sales. And this has really given us a very unique perspective on what's happening in multiple industries, right? The current situation has been a wake-up call for many. I strongly feel that this time was coming, although it was coming very slowly. Coronavirus has forced us to just wake up and smell the reality, the new normal rather. It has forced us to reevaluate what is more important, what is more essential, what is not. Like it or not, it is forcing us to live in a manner which is more in sync with nature, which is sustainable, which is long term, right? Where we have more chances of surviving than we would have had earlier. Now, with everyone panicking and really not being able to come out of this situation mentally, what is the way out? What are some of the things that we as entrepreneurs can focus on to really make the most of this situation and propel our business forward into a brighter, more successful future? 5 ways, or at least 5 things that has constantly come up in my brainstorming sessions internally as well as with our list of clients, covers these 5 areas. Of course, if you have questions or if you would like to discuss this in further, feel free to comment below. A small story which always helps me in times of crisis is Churchill's story. So to share this quotation by Winston Churchill: never waste a good crisis, right? We've heard this countless times now. Every crisis has an opportunity. Every crisis has unexpected perspectives or viewpoints which we could not have seen till we were forced to see. And that is exactly what's happening right now. So the first point is adapt or die. Many legacy industries are badly hurt, whether it's oil, automobiles, entertainment, dine-in, sports, luxury goods. These are all non-essential activities have been badly hurt. However, the bright side, which I see, is that several other businesses are flourishing, right? Healthcare is flourishing. E-commerce is flourishing. Education doing very well. Data sciences, so these are just four industries which I could think of, but they're quite fundamental to how we now operate. Everybody wants good health. Everybody wants good education, if not for themselves, at least for their kids. Everybody is trying to adapt themselves to e-commerce now. We're all connected. We're all part of one global economy now. So it's not like we won't get affected. I'm in the digital marketing industry, and because I have a heavy portfolio of travel and event based clients, I've been badly hurt. But the question now is, can you adapt or pivot your business model to evolve into a much more sustainable and growth oriented industry? or a growth oriented business model, right? Ultimately, for the 6 billion odd people on this planet, the resources are limited. And with the mindless consumption, mindless way in which we have been growing, I think nature is just telling us, dude, you need to step back. Let me rest. Let me recuperate for some time. Meanwhile, you guys step back and reevaluate how you want to deal with me. So yeah. So how do you really adapt your business? And for the purposes of this video, I will be talking about how do you adapt your marketing. So there are five ways in which we are advising a lot of our clients to adapt their marketing in a much more contextualized manner. So point number one is, don't sell. Right now is not the time to be selling. The confidence in your clients at this point is probably not going to be at its peak. Instead, try to see what value you can provide to your prospects, right? um, by value, I mean, is there any education, is there any knowledge, additional knowledge that could be provided through your marketing? So for example, can you share a report, a free report? Can you share industry insights? Can you share a proven checklist or a proven cheat sheet which could assist your clients in making better decisions? Think of marketing not as a sales tool, but more as a tool to provide additional value to your clients, right? When the economy bounces, and take my word for it, the time will pass. This horrendous, difficult time will pass. And when it passes, who do you think your clients will come back to? They will come back to somebody they don't know, or will they come back to you, somebody who has been providing them value even in this difficult scenario, right? So knowledge, education, and value based marketing, these should be the keywords that you should be thinking about day in, day out. Point number three is bundling and partnerships. So are there any complementary products or services that you could bundle with your existing lineup? So I see a lot of business owners immediately jumping into selling sanitizers or other healthcare products. I really don't think that to be a long term goal. Instead, see what are the other complementary products or services that go well with your business for the long term. It's probably going to be a fad if you are in the car manufacturing business and you start making face masks all of a sudden. Unless you have a lot of resources at your disposal, that is something I would not advise you to do. Instead, if you are, let's say, if you run a restaurant, can you partner up with a hospital to provide meals to their staff? So I was reading about this really interesting case study by Singapore Airlines, where they have put their entire hospitality team to run as a call center for taking incoming queries of patients on their COVID-19 helpline. So partnerships can work well in your favor and help you adapt to a market which can respond to your products and services as well, right? Engage your database. Another very important point. So let's say you have 500 followers on LinkedIn, or you have an email list of 10,000 people. Are you sending out messages to them, right? This is a very, very good time to engage with your database. A lot of them are sitting at home, not really knowing what to do. So combining points number one, two, provide value to your existing database. They will come back to you when the economy jumps, right? Lastly, if you are in a business which is operating right now, so there are three selling techniques which you could think of right now: um, upsell, downsell, or cross sell, right? Are there any products or services which are of slightly higher ticket value which could be of use to your prospects right now? Think of those products and services and try sharing that with your database. Or if there are lower ticket items in your value chain, can you promote that to your database? Lastly, if you could, if you have any partnerships that you could cross promote to your database, that could add as an additional source of revenue. So really it is about taking action, taking massive action, and seeing how you can really adapt your marketing to fit the current scenario. Second, the agile methodology, right? So let's say you want to build a car. Let's say you want to build a Ferrari. Now there are two ways of building a Ferrari, right? One is that you actually start going out to build a Ferrari. So right, you start making the wheels first, then you start putting the chassis together, then you start building all the other parts together, and finally after a year or two you have your Ferrari ready. The time right now is not to build a Ferrari, right? You need to conserve every resource possible and really just focus on the most essential products or services that your customers would need, because everybody is afraid to invest in anything, let alone a Ferrari. So you have to ask yourself the question that, do I really need to build a Ferrari, or would a skateboard do? Do I really need to build a Ferrari, or would a cycle be sufficient to fulfill the problem that I'm looking to solve? Right? And then progressively, you start adding more functions and features and moving parts and complexity to your business to eventually build it into a Ferrari, right? So this is something called the agile methodology, where you experiment with low cost products and services. You fail fast, fail early, take feedback from the market, and continuously improve your product or service to serve the market well. This strategy alone has been responsible for the success of so many startups in India as well as all over the world, right? Do you remember the time when you were running your business 2 months back, and all you were doing was putting out fires, trying to solve one problem after another, and wondering if there was ever a time where you could, just sit and enjoy the fruits of your labor? Probably not, right? As a business owner, crisis is something that we are all used to. What we are not used to is this free time that a lot of us have suddenly on our hands, right? So one very very smart thing that you could do is would be to templatize your business, or try to automate some of your business. So by templatizing or automation, I mean, can you build processes of various operational activities in your business, right? So for example, let's say you're doing activity A, and to execute this activity A, there is 1 2 3 4 5 steps which are needed. Do you have that documented? And can you build a system where each activity becomes more predictable to execute, not just for your existing teams, but even for future team members who might join your team, right? If you're able to create a repeatable way of executing your business, that can in itself help you develop a scalable way of growing your business, right? To give you a quick example, one of my clients runs an insurance business, and they have been working on automating small, not the entire business together, but small bits and pieces in their business. So, for example, payment collection was a very, very tricky part in their business. Now, with the current lockdown, they were facing a lot of challenge collecting payments. So we implemented a payment gateway on their website, and now 70%, 60 to 70% of their payments are coming online. So what are the steps or tasks in your business which could be templatized or automated? I think this will lead to a lot more efficiency in your business, which will ultimately add to the bottom line, right? Finally, and this is probably the most important section of this training, it's your mindset, right? Every other strategy or tactic is probably just 20-30% of the job, but it's your brain which is the biggest tool, which is the biggest and most important resource that you have at your hand right now, that you need to really work on. So a lot of us, a lot of my friends and colleagues are completely frozen and living in a state of fear. Why? Because they're glued to the news. And if you think about it, is the job of the news channel to sell you that news. That's how they stay in business. So they're in the business of grabbing attention and selling that attention to advertisers. The more we glue ourselves to these news, the more fear we are acting from a point of fear. So my wholehearted appeal would be to really dial down on all news consumption and take action. Twice the action, thrice the action that you can take to really pass this time with a lot of by creating a lot of value in your time, in your life, right? Read up about stories of leaders, other business leaders, on dealing with crisis and adversity, and you will come across some very fantastic stories of how other entrepreneurs or business leaders have dealt with crisis and come out 2x or even 3x stronger, right? Use this time to sign up for courses, to retool and upskill yourself for the new way of doing business, which is very rapidly unfolding before our own eyes, right? Yes, things are changing, things have changed, but and along with that, you too will have to change yourself. Is there a skill that you think will add massive value on your portfolio or in your organization? How can you retool or upskill yourself to really cater to that demand? That in itself will set you miles apart from the competition and ensure that you come out winning. I cannot overemphasize on this, and a lot of other people I have spoken to constantly emphasize on how we can build the right mental strategies to cross this time successfully. My last point is building a sustainable business, building a natural business. So I always take inspiration from nature. Every time I get stuck, I look for patterns in nature, I look for natural principles and see how I can incorporate those in my own mindset, because nature has been around for millions of years. You really cannot go against the laws of nature. So if you're able to build a business which is in sync with the laws of nature, I think that business will survive every crisis. Very simple points. Go back to basics. What are the core essentials of your business? I think that is something that you need to focus on. If you have a very large space, you need to question whether such a large space is really required to keep you functional, right? If you have exorbitant expenditures, really see how you can conserve those expenditures and redeploy them in more value creating areas. Is your product really adding genuine value to the lives of your customers, right? Is it healthy? Think about if your product will help kids or if your product will help old people. These are very simple barometers through which you can measure the value of your business and constantly help you think of more ways and means to add and increase this value multifold. Thank you so much, guys. This was one of my first YouTube videos, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Be safe, stay at home, and keep hustling. Thank you so much.